What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about one of the most sensitive subjects in the industry, scales. Yes, that was absolutely a pun. We like our scales to be sensitive. So the set of scales we're talking about today are the Basic Barista Scales that have just been released. Now these may look familiar to a lot of people out there because they're identical to the Varia scales that are available. Now there are a couple of very minor differences from the Varia. There's no logo on there. These come with a free heat-proof mat and, well, they're cheaper. Now it would be a complete waste of time for me to put these up against the set of Varia scales because they are identical. They are the same scale. What I am going to put them up against is a set of scales that are worth twice as much as this, and I'm going to show you just how good these guys are. So in the link below, you will see that you can purchase these scales for $60, which is an absolute bargain, especially when you're comparing to something that is more than double the price, like the Precision Juno. So I'm going to get to it and put these guys directly against each other to show you which one is a better scale. So as you can see, both of these scales have very clear display down the bottom, and both screens have touchscreen buttons built into them. Now, one of the major differences is that the buttons are built into the weight plate of this one. However, these ones are separate, which means you can touch the buttons without it affecting the weight reading. Now, of course, that means that the scale is bigger, so it's probably not perfect for everything, but I've been using it for pretty much everything at home here, and I gotta tell you, I've been very impressed. Now, this guy here takes 3 AAA batteries, and this is USB rechargeable. Now, one of the issues that you will come into with most USB rechargeable scales is that, well, the charge port is built in to the weight plate, which means you cannot charge the scale and get a good reading at the same time, where if the batteries are flat on this, pop some new batteries in and away you go. Now, this doesn't have an auto start on the timer, but, well, it doesn't really have to because you can push the button without it affecting the weight. Now, one of the very impressive things I've noticed about this is most scales only go up to about 2 kilos, which is pretty standard in the industry. These guys actually go up to 3 kilos and they still have incredible accuracy. So rather than me just throwing numbers at you, I'm going to show you something really interesting. You definitely want to watch this part. So quite typically, this is the kind of scale you're going to use to dose your beans before grinding or for brewing, which means you need extreme accuracy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the dosing cup on each scale. I'm going to tare it, put 20 grams in, and then add 1 bean at a time until you see a difference. So first up is the Precision. I'm going to pour in 20 grams of coffee. Now let's see how many beans it takes to get that number to move. Next up is the Basic Barista Scale. 20 grams in there. Let's see how many it takes. Immediately, like a scale should. Now that was a little bit of a loaded test because I know that this scale has a really bad habit of rounding up or rounding down to the nearest whole number. But as a scale should, when you add weight, it tells you you've added weight. Because all is good and well to know you've put 20 grams in, which is fantastic. But when you're trying to know if you've extracted all of that weight from the grinder, well, you won't know for sure because if it's going to round up, it's going to give you a false reading. Whereas the Basic Barista was giving me crystal clear readings of 0.1 to 0.2 of a gram every time I added a bean. So I could talk about these guys all day. I can give you all the nerd stats, or you can click on that link below, have a look for yourself, and pick up yourself a set of these amazing Basic Barista scales. That's it for now, guys. Have yourselves a great day and happy brewing.